Hello everyone, I'm Sarah, and I do want to thank you for tuning in today because I have a very important topic to talk about. Today I am going to talk about 10 of the most important DUI defensive tactics, the 10 most important ones, the ones that seem to affect me in many, many ways. Now, as someone who has experienced the devastating impact of losing a loved one to a drunk driver, I know firsthand the challenging the legal journey can be. I know it. I lived it. And that's why I want to bring you these 10 tactics. I have in previous videos explained each one of them, what happened to me. But today I just want to cover the 10. Now, I want you to put yourself inside a courtroom. Yeah, imagine being there, seeking justice for someone taken from you by the senseless act of drunk driving. Now, you're not thinking clearly. First of all, you're in a place that's totally foreign to you. And all you know about the law is basically what you've seen on TV, which is totally, shall we say, it is a TV show and it's not reality. It's myth. It's what we want it to be. Where the DA works for you. No, the DA does not work for you. They work for the state. The defense attorney works for the criminal. Guess who works for you? You. And that's one of the reasons why you need to know these tactics, so you're not shocked by them. Now, I know I expected the truth coming out. That did not happen. What I kept seeing were games being played all the time. Loopholes. Oh my goodness, the loopholes. These tactics can twist the pursuit of truth and leave victims like me, like you, and our families feeling re-victimized by the system meant to protect us. I mean, every day I felt that way. Every day I felt like that. The criminal always gets everything. Now, in today's video, like I mentioned, I will walk you through the 10 most common tactics used by the defense attorneys in DUI manslaughter cases. Tactics that exploit loopholes, which they did use in my son's case, and which, like I said before, I have done videos on. Manipulate testimonies and capitalize on procedural errors. Oh, it's unimaginable what loopholes they can come with. But here are the 10 of them. And like I said, I do have videos with what happened to me on each one of these. They are exploiting evidence, admissibility loopholes, challenging the chain of custody. Oh, I love this one. They hold something up, then let's put it this way, whenever they're doing tests like the BAC, they hold it up for months. Well, that only gives the defense attorney something to find loopholes in, like the chain of custody, questioning evidence collection methods, or arguing that proper warrants are lacking to weaken the prosecution's case. Now, that's a good one too. Manipulating witness discrepancies. Aggressively cross-examining witnesses to highlight inconsistencies and undermine their credibility. You know, sometimes if we're being called up to testify, we feel like the criminal because they can twist what we're saying. And that's what they're there to do. They're there to get their client off. Capitalizing on procedural errors. Reviewing a case for any mistakes, such as missed deadlines or improper paperwork filing or reduced or dismissed charges. Hey, they can do anything but let our side make a mistake. Well, we're going to get it. Never, 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 never forget. The criminal gets all the rights, and the only one fighting for your loved one is you. The DA works for the state, and they will tell you that. Abusing legal technicalities, finding and exploiting legal loopholes to derange the prosecution's case. Loopholes. I have never seen so many excuses for loopholes in my life as I have this last few years. I think in my case, which like I said, I have a video on, Dennis Rodriguez Abeda Jr., who killed my child, and incidentally, I can name his name because he is in jail now. Do not put out his name or his mugshot unless he or she is already in prison. That is illegal. Abusing legal technicalities, finding and exploiting legal loopholes to derange the prosecution's case. I have never seen so many loopholes in all my life, and so many ridiculous ones. And I think what really got me was when the guy that killed my child was too drunk to take a breathalyzer test. So therefore, he wasn't arrested. He wasn't arrested that day. He went home with mommy. Well, my son was being put into a black bag, his crushed body into a black bag. It's an insult. It is an insult to me. Now, spinning alternatives, presenting far-fetched scenarios to create reasonable doubt and confuse the jury. My favorite one is, and now I've written about it too, fingerprints in a car on a steering wheel. Now, in my case, Dennis was strapped in the car, upside down, and I'm close to a railroad track, screaming for help. Now tell me, he's in the car, he has strapped in the car with a seatbelt on, and there was a witness that was there right away, but yet they could bring up the fact that there were other fingerprints in that car and somebody else could be in there to mislead the jury. They try to mislead the jury. If you think about what's going on in politics today, it's the same idea. Undermining the chain of custody. Now, here's the one that happened with the blood test. Remember I told you about the blood work? Arguing that any break in the chain of custody could lead to evidence tampering or contamination. Let's take this for a minute, okay? He was too drunk to take a breathalyzer test. He was in the hospital room. The officer that was in charge of the crash came in because he couldn't take the breathalyzer, asked him for permission to take the test. Other than that, he'd have to have a warrant. Dennis said okay. It took 10 months to get the BAC back. And Dennis was never arrested. He was roaming free and driving. You can't. And that's another thing. Texas does not take driver's license away even if they kill somebody. 10 months. There's another loophole. Who had that blood during that 10 months? Did somebody replace it with somebody else's blood? I mean, as if. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Cross-examining. Now, I did not have this situation, but it does come in to create doubt. Asking misleading or overly complex questions, making witnesses appear unreliable. Dismissals on trivial grounds. Filing motions to dismiss charges based on minor procedural errors. Oh my. That's another one. That's another good one. Discrediting witnesses unfairly. Diving into personal lies or past mistakes to paint witnesses as unreliable or biased. You know, I can remember, I'm in my 70s now, and I can remember as younger, in my teens, saying if I was ever raped, I would never, ever admit to it because I would never want to go to court. And it's even more so today. Now, filing frivolous motions to suppress evidence. These motions delay proceedings and create hurdles for prosecutors. Man, my trial went on, I swear. Every time I turned around, there was some type of delay. Usually it had to do with the blood work. They kept trying to throw out the blood work. And if they threw out the blood work, that means he wasn't drunk. I don't know. You get the idea. Now, understanding these loopholes is crucial for everyone involved in the legal process. From the law enforcement to the jurors, by being aware of these tactics, you and I can strive for more application of justice. If they know, as a loved one, that you know that you're not just sitting back and just letting things happen, that your son's a case number and whatever, I think they're going to be more apt to pay attention to you and not to do a plea deal. Like I said before, a plea deal is a way to get that case number, it's a number, off the DA's desk quickly, like this. All they need to have is the DA and defense attorney get together. They don't have to tell you. And give probation, and the man's out in the street, which what could have happened to me if I hadn't been so forceful. I'm like a mother bear protecting my cub. Now, if you want to dive deeper into what has happened to me, the evidence like blood tests and fingerprints, check out my videos on exposing loopholes when probation failures criminal justice, or escaped criminal justice. Fingerprint evidence in DUI manslaughter, key role in defense loopholes. How defense attorneys challenge blood test evidence in DUI manslaughter cases, and any of the other ones I have out there. I will explain what happened to me, the reality of it. Not what you hear, not what people say, not what's written in books, but what actually happens. Thank you for watching. Become a squeaky wheel. Your loved one deserves this. Don't forget to listen to my YouTube videos. The URLs will be listed on the intro to the YouTube channel. And again, I am not an attorney. I am a mother. I am the mother of Dr. Kenley Gene Raney, who lost his life to a drunk driver by the name of Dennis Rodriguez Cebeda Jr. on January 25th, 2019. Thank you.